Hey big dreamers, this is Liz from Big Dream with Liz. If this is your first time here, this is where I give intuitive advice based on what I love, what I'm good at, and what I think you need most, also known as the flavor generator. We have the person of the day. There are 8 options in this bag out of 12 total categories, which I like to call the person. The extra 4 are subcategories within these 8 right here. So these are the main ones. Ooh, the entertainer. We have the entertainer, number 8. Yes, I had to change the number at some point. We're just making do with what we have at the moment. I'm probably going to reprint these. I am going back through some details before I do that process. So I have the number 8 entertainer bag with orange, yellow, green, what I love, what I'm good at, what I think you need most in this bag. And then you pull one more yellow one, which is a power, and that represents the product of the day as well. You'll see if this is your first time here. It might be a little weird at first, but you'll see what I am up to soon enough. I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for all of my current subscribers on this channel. I recently got some new subscribers, which was very exciting for me. I like seeing that what I'm doing is making a difference and that growth is happening, and that is reassuring me to keep going, in case you haven't guessed. So feel free to leave comments, like videos, watch my other videos if you like this one. It's based on the Ikigai, which is a Japanese concept for your reason for being, combining what you love, what you're good at, what you think the world needs most, and what you could be paid for. And my version of it uses little papers, drawing out of a bag, and I do your passion, your power, your purpose, and the product. So that is my version of the Ikigai. My cat is looking cute on her back down there right now. One of my 2 cats. The entertainer combines musicians, dancers, and comedians, or people who love acting. Any form of entertainment, really. We're gonna figure all this out. If you can relate or identify with the entertainer title, maybe that means either you already consider yourself to be an entertainer of sorts, or you would have loved to be that when you were little, or you are currently working toward that goal in your life. The entertainer is passionate about professional performances, finding new music. Their powers are creating or sharing music for artists, dancing, and the product of the day, which is the same color, dance or drill team. But their purpose is dance, choreograph, and improv, to take the path to recognition and fame. And I go back to the product at the end, dance drill team. It's very specific today, so if you don't consider yourself musical, you don't consider yourself having rhythm or being a dancer, but maybe you enjoy those things. I don't know very many people who don't enjoy music of some genre. And there's probably people who don't enjoy dance, but I haven't really met them. Usually most people can watch dancing of some kind and be enthralled by it. Dance can be exciting for just about anyone. Same with music. Because I believe that that goes back to our ancestral roots. I think everybody celebrates through music, dancing, and food. And that is one way to connect with other people on a deeper level. Entertainers, you love professional performances, finding new music. I know I love professional performances and finding new music, so how can I relate that to you guys today? I love the discipline behind professional performances. It took a certain amount of practice for years, or some people advance faster than others, but it takes a certain number of hours for people to get to the point where they are confident and competent enough to make it into a professional either dance company or in a professional realm of whatever it is they are using as their self-expression and the creative artistry that they have chosen. And in this case, finding new music speaks to me about choreography, but it could also be finding new music that you could collaborate with as a musician, because I know musicians use other musicians to collaborate with for their own professional performances. I don't just love finding new music, I adore it, because then I can be inspired to use it for my, well, on my Instagram page, big.dream.with.liz, you can view my stories and my story highlights, and I purposely try to use different music for every single story post reel that I share. Sometimes I do use the same song more than once, but usually there's a reason for that. Either I just really love it or it's very appropriate for the thing that I am sharing at that time. I don't really create my own music yet, but I would love to learn how to be in production, music production someday, and also learn how to be a DJ and remix music. But I love for now to share music for artists. And that could also be for fine arts, drawing, painting, anything where people are trying to share their work online. I like to try to introduce old and new music, different types of music that could be good for creative purposes. So I feel like that's a power of mine. Also dancing. I have danced since I was little. I did take a number of years as a break in order to do piano lessons myself. I did 8 years of piano lessons, and I can play by ear pretty well on the piano. I have not played other instruments other than the flute, and I played the flute for 1 year in 6th grade. Comment below if you have played piano or flute. I think they go well together as well. I like to share music specifically for dancers to be inspired to choreograph or to use a song for someone else to choreograph to. By the way, I do that as well. If you guys want to reach out to me, I will either find music for you to choreograph to, or I will choreograph to a song that you have chosen. You can contact me for more information. Your purpose as an entertainer in this particular video: dance, choreograph, and improv. What is improv? Improvisation. Most people know of improv for comedians, like that show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? Maybe that's a little old, I don't know if it's still around or anything like that is still around. So you are on the spot and you can come up with something on the spot. And that is also used in dance classes, especially contemporary and modern dances and hip hop. Some people I have met do not like improv because they feel silly or stupid when they're in a class and they're trying to explore movement on the spot. They'd rather learn someone else's choreography. And I did feel like this in the past. I have embraced improv a little bit more than I used to. And these videos are basically improv in a different way, improv advice. So I do go back and edit them so that you guys aren't just waiting. Sometimes I don't know what I'm gonna say. But for the most part, it is on the spot advice. And in the dance realm, really there's no right or wrong way to move your body. But there are things that can look more intriguing and more interesting. And that comes with practice, learning how one movement can be fluid into the next, or incorporate different elements within one piece of music that you may be dancing or expressing yourself to. And choreography, I believe, is easier to do when you improv to the music beforehand. So start with moving around, choose music that you really like or get music that you like from someone else, and then start moving around to it. And if you are working on a piece of choreography, you feel stuck, just let your body move around freely before you start to implement exact steps. I feel like that is very helpful for choreographers in the choreographic process. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I tend to freeze up, lock up if I don't feel free to move. If I feel like I have to do something a certain way, then I have a harder time coming up with anything at all because I am putting too much pressure on the process. So if you can Move around, see how your body is moving naturally to that particular song, and maybe try that with a few different songs, and you will know which one feels the best to you in the moment. And also you have to pick something that you might not get as tired of. That's another pointer for the dancers out there, choreographers. Try to pick something that isn't too annoying to work on for the next few months or however long it's going to be. Your other purpose as an entertainer, to take the path to recognition and fame. I started off dancing when I was little, maybe 5 years old, and took a few different classes: creative movement, jazz, modern dance, and ballet. I did not like ballet. I felt like it was boring and too restrictive, yet I loved ballerinas. I loved watching ballet performances, professional performances in Portland, and I did not continue because my parents didn't want to pay for a kid being bored in ballet class, so they took me out of ballet. And then ultimately I ended up doing piano lessons instead of dance altogether for a number of years, until I got into high school and then realized how much I loved dance and drill team when I watched them perform my freshman year. I didn't realize I really wanted to try that until my freshman year and I had seen them perform. I had just come from 2 years of a private school where they didn't have stuff like that. I remembered how much I loved dancing when I saw them performing, and then I had to audition that next summer for my sophomore year, and then I ended up being a co-captain on the dance team my senior year of high school. Dance and drill team is a little different than if you grew up in a dance studio, which I started off in a dance studio, more artsy-fartsy, I guess you could say. Not to say that dance and drill teams can't do things more artsy-fartsy, because I have seen it happen. But typically, it's movement style that's more based off of jazz and hip-hop, very linear, and they don't explore shapes as often in one person's body, because you are trying to make the whole unit, the whole team, look very powerful, dynamic, and effective together. And they use a lot more ripples. I think in the modern dance world, it's called a canon. Everyone has a different count that they will do the same movement on in order for it to be a visually effective look from the audience. And it's more sports based. Usually they are performing in the middle of a game, basically, or at the beginning of a game. So it's a little different. I like both. I did audition for Blazer dancers right out of high school. I didn't make it very far, I'm just going to tell you guys. There's a lot of hair flipping, there was a lot of improv that needed to happen, but in the freestyle hip-hop way, which I was not so comfortable with, and I will tell you, confidence has a lot to do with your success in that type of realm. And I came from dance team and went right into that audition, and I still didn't feel very comfortable because we hadn't really practiced freestyle anything. So I hadn't done that a lot, and that was very uncomfortable for me at that time. But that's okay, it was not my path. I would say I'm more drawn to the contemporary dance world and incorporating ballet technique in the contemporary dancing. So that is more my strength over the years, and that is okay. There are many different styles you can do. This is becoming more of the dancer and musician topic. That's good, because I don't have very many videos that are mostly about dancers. If you're in high school or college and you have a dance or drill team at that school, you could try it. Some people have props in their dance teams, like the pom-poms and flags and things like that. It can be a separate thing, or cheerleading is separate from dance team at certain schools. So you could try both and see what you like best. But I do feel dance team does have a bit more choreography, and a dance background is helpful for making it on a dance team, but they also can teach a lot of things to you. So if you never really took dance lessons, but you want to try a dance team, go for it, because they will teach you. They will look for natural talent and passion. You do not have to be perfect when you audition for something. It does help to have experience for professional companies, to audition for a professional dance company. But don't let that stop you, because auditions can be a good way to practice. Kind of view it as taking a class with other professionals And make sure you arrive early and do a little warm-up on your own before they start their own audition. They may have a warm-up included and they may not, but you want to make sure you don't injure yourself, because I've done that before. Because I didn't know I had to warm up my neck in a particular class I was a part of, and I got whiplash from their choreography. I don't know if that was my fault or not, because you don't always think to warm up certain things when they're going to be highly used in a class. Try to warm up every part of your body before an audition or class if you can. That way you won't injure yourself during the class. Finding new music, it's fun to do. Sometimes it's hard to know where to find new music, so start with the genre of music you typically like most and go to your favorite artist, either be on Pandora or Spotify or Apple Music, or I'm sure I'm forgetting other big music streaming sites. But you could also search on Google your favorite artist and see what else comes up. Okay, entertainers, maybe you like to dabble like I do or have in the past. I could say I'm technically a musician because I have played piano, I have a good musical ear, and I have attempted to create my own music in the past, but I wouldn't say that is my main focus or strength. I do love other people's music, and I want to choreograph to other people's awesome music. And I like to explore different types of movement for different types of music. So even if I have one piece of choreography to one particular song, sometimes it's fun to try a different type of song to that same choreography. It doesn't always work, but sometimes you can adapt your movement to a different song, and that's pretty fun. Anything else here, entertainers? Entertainer, dancer, musicians? Oh yes, what I was saying was, if you dabble, like I like to dabble in different types of creative endeavors in your lifetime, it's okay to try new things. Maybe certain people will tell you to stick to one thing and make it a focus. Not only is that kind of boring sometimes, you can hit burnout pretty easily, but you also might be wanting to incorporate all of these different things in your career path and either teach them to others or use them in your creative ways that only you know how to do. So it is okay to try new things. Maybe give a certain time frame for each, or if you're overlapping things, maybe you have music lessons one day of the week or a music production class, or you are taking multiple dance classes. I do recommend, if you are a dancer, to take multiple classes a week. I am not currently doing that myself, but I do an exercise routine. If you are looking to be very professional in the dance world, almost every day of the week is best, especially for being on point in ballet. And you probably already know that if you're already doing it, because they require 4 days a week of class, I'm pretty sure, and maybe multiple classes a day. And that also costs more money. So it depends on your situation in your household or on your own, if you're on your own. I did go back to pointe in my adulthood. I was 18 when I went on pointe in ballet class. And the studio I was at, I don't want to mention the name because I don't even know if they exist anymore, but they were in Hillsboro, Oregon, and I did not get a shoe fitting. She told me which shoes to get, what brand. I went to the place that sold them. They didn't exactly help me very in depth, and they hurt very badly, and I just thought that was how they were supposed to feel because you are on your toes. But it turns out that it's not really supposed to hurt that bad. So I had the wrong shoes for my foot type. There are plenty of other brands and types of ballet shoes out there that fit differently on different feet. Make sure that you are going to a studio where they care about the safety of their dancers. And although I was 18 and just starting on pointe, and I was full-time in classes at that studio, and also doing work study. I was helping her with cleaning and desk work in order to get free classes per week in exchange so that I could afford and be able to train every day of the week at that time. I did that for a year before going to a mission trip overseas, kind of overseas. It was in Dominica, which is in the Caribbean, West Indies, south of Florida. Anyway, I ended up kind of changing direction, and the rest is history. I just kept trying to do dance classes ever since then. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is, if you dabble, it's okay, but if you want to be a professional ballerina, don't dabble. You have to be focused. You have to choose that path and that path alone, because you won't really have time for anything else in order to be as good as you need to be and as strong as you need to be a professional ballerina at the realm that is required for professional dance companies of that type, if that makes any sense at all. I did not keep pursuing the path of ballet, but I did continue pursuing the path of contemporary dance, and I also tried other styles along the way. I have the most experience with jazz, contemporary, ballet, and lyrical dance. A little bit of hip hop. I was an apprentice for a hip hop company in Portland called Engage Urban Dance Company. Hip hop is one of those coordination things. I have a hard time isolating my head with my body frame and my arm movements and the feet, and everything's doing something different. It seems like some things are coordinated, but other things aren't, and you have to isolate. And that happens in jazz classes sometimes too, but it can be overwhelming to my mind. So practice makes perfect. So keep going to classes if you want to get better at it, because you won't get better just sitting around in your house. Okay, so, if you don't care to be serious with dance or music, then feel free by all means to enjoy dance shows, music shows, listen to music every day, find new music in your downtime, because that's what I do, and use it on social media, or there's creative expression on Instagram for sure, not as much on Facebook, and TikTok. I still have to get on TikTok, but I know that you can be more creative on there as well. YouTube is tricky because you can't use other people's music without certain licensing from the artist or through YouTube or whatever. I'm still trying to figure all of that out for myself, because I want to share music on here, but I can't legally do that yet. If you just love watching dance, you want to take classes, you could start at a fitness place, at a dance studio, take beginner classes and see what styles you like in the beginner levels and go from there. There are lots of options in most cities. If you need my help finding new music, I will gladly make playlists for you. If you're a dancer or a creative person, or you want to know my taste in music, I will do that. Send it your way through Spotify. Stay tuned as I develop more dance content of my own on my Big Dream with Liz Instagram page. Leave a comment if you have any comments. Like the video if you like it. Check out my other videos here on YouTube channel, Big Dream with Liz, my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you have enjoyed this and if you would like to see more in these 8 categories options that we have that I draw out of a bag to see what to talk about that day. And I do release videos once a week, usually on Fridays. It's better if you hit the notification bell and select all notifications so that you are notified when I release a new video. That's about it. I'm here to help bring out the inner magic you have always had, but forgot about. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.